Hi guys, how are you all doing? And welcome back to my channel. So today I'll just be giving a little bit of an update on what has been going on in Brussels and in the whole Brussels bubble, and especially with the new proposals that the Commission has proposed. And these are the nature restoration law, and I'm talking more about the ones related to agriculture, or the ones that affect agriculture, the main ones for me. So these are the nature restoration law. There's also the SUR, which is the sustainable use of pesticide regulation, and then the NGTs. So that's the new genomic techniques. If you don't know what NGTs are, you can very well think of them first as being GMOs, but they are like the new variant of GMOs. So what's going on in Brussels? So this, I think it's about 2 or 3 weeks ago, when Vice President Timmermans met the AGRI Committee and presented the proposal. So more or less there was the vote in the AGRI Committee for the nature restoration, also this NRL, and it didn't go too well. Unfortunately, in my opinion, it didn't go too well, or definitely didn't go the way he was expecting it to go. So for Vice President Timmermans, this was not good. And one of the things he said before the vote was that these proposals that are upcoming are supposed to be contribute to the Green Deal and are part of the 2030 EU biodiversity strategy also. And so for him, it was not going to be an a la carte menu where you pick, what you want from the menu, and whatever you don't want, you just throw away. And so basically, he went with the MEPs have to accept the nature restoration law, accept the SUR, and then they would accept NGTs. And it was more or less from his speech that if they did not accept the nature restoration law and the SUR, there will be no NGTs. Yes, so I think a background to this is to know that normally the EPP in Parliament, they are like the largest group in Parliament, and it looks, or from how you have it in Brussels, the EPP does not support the nature restoration law. Do they not support the SUR, so the sustainable use of pesticide regulation? As far as we know, they are very much in support of the NGTs. So this for the EPP is what they would like to have, the NGTs. And also, it's best Brussels politics. We know the Greens in Parliament are more for the SUR and the nature restoration law, and the Greens would rather hold back on using NGTs. So basically, that's what it is. Now, I think so 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, when the vote happened in the AGRI Committee, they voted against. It was really big in Brussels, and you also had some naming and shaming on social media. There were NGOs that really went for naming and shaming of some MEPs who voted against it. And the next day was when I think there was a vote by the FISH, so like the Fishing Committee, and they also voted against it. So that was 2 strikes down. But the lead on the nature restoration law, so the lead on the file is the ENVI Committee, so the Environmental Committee. And tomorrow, the 15th of June, should do fingers crossed, I think that's what should be, fingers crossed for what happens. The ENVI Committee will vote tomorrow on the nature restoration law. And I think this would be the game changer for everything. Personally, I do not know what happens if it also doesn't go through the ENVI Committee. I'm not sure how that then plays out in Brussels now, What would happen? Would it be taken off the table, or is there still another group that can vote on it? Can it still go to, the member states to vote? So I'm not so sure how this part plays out at the end of the day. But yeah, that's just a quick update on what's going on. And I think anyone who's interested should really follow this. This promises to be very interesting. And as far as we know already, also the EPP walked out of the discussions and negotiations. The EPP was not going to have this. The EPP already walked out of the negotiations. Yeah, one of the biggest people who are really not for the law, it's not because they do not want to protect biodiversity or to protect nature or protect lands, which is what normally the proposal should be about, but they have other concerns that they think the commission did not consider in putting this together. And also there's been lots of uproar from some farmers. Actually, there've actually been demonstrations in Brussels about this. There's those who are for the law and those who are against the law. So it's really, the last weeks in Brussels for me have been pretty interesting, trying to see what's going on in Brussels. But yeah, let me know what you think. Are you in support of the nature restoration law? Do you know what it's about? Do you even need me to do a whole video on the nature restoration law? Normally I had made a couple of posts about it on my social medias, like my Facebook and my LinkedIn. But if you don't know what's about, what the law entails, and you want me to go a bit deeper, just let me know in the comment section. But most importantly, I want to know, do you think this is a good law? Does Europe need a nature restoration law, like harmonized regulation, so that, the whole EU is doing something about the restoration of nature? Let me know in the comments what you think, and see you in the next video on my Brussels bubble. Bye.